Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Apocrypha, Voices of the Hidden, an occult podcast here on YouTube. All of you fuckers haven't already known that, but hey, I figure I'd throw it out there anyway, right?
It's on YouTube.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. Now I got to find the scenes thing. There it is. Boom. There he is. I got scared for a second. I didn't see Mystic immediately, and then I kind of popped in.
Well, I'd be very scared if you didn't see me too, but probably more scared if I pop in.
So I'm readjusting everything as far as like volumes and things like that because I reinstalled Windows at some point and then something happened and I guess I got rid of OBS and I got it back. I don't know. I can't remember. There's been so much stuff happening. Atius, yes, that is me. Hello. Hello, Aaron Page.
Page.
Welcome to the show.
Oh my god, that hurt my arm.
It's a tree sap. Hello.
Oh, it is a tree sap.
It is.
It's a soppy little tree.
Drip, drip, drip. What?
Nothing.
So I think we got an interesting show lined up tonight, guys. Again, we're going to be talking about the world and their hatred against Satan and Satanism, and just obviously, and that just bleeds over into the occult in general, right? So we're going to be talking about that. Also, for those of you that don't know, Sunday is going to be the inaugural, I don't want to say episode, I suppose, because it's not really an episode, but sermon, which I'm actually writing, by the way, for Satan and Coffee. I wanted to do it earlier. I wanted to do it like 10 o'clock in the morning, but then that overlapped with Mystic's Sunday service, and I didn't want to do that.
You don't do that.
So moved it to 12. So, he'll be 15 minutes finished by the time I start. So that way, if y'all want to, come in and support on Sunday for that inaugural episode of Satan and Coffee, I would be more than happy. It's going to be an hour. That's it. Not completely different format than this. It's going to be more like an actual kind of like, I guess, like a mass, kind of thing without so much singing and music. But it's going to be right around that. So make sure you show up to Mystic Sunday service, and right after you show up to your wonderful, wonderful, friendly neighborhood Black Mass. So, yeah. So there's that. And Mystic, what deck do you have for us this evening?
So today, I'm using the Myths and Legends.
I like the mauve.
Yeah. Final decision. It was a hard decision. But when I opened up the box, this big deck gave me a raging clue. See if anybody gets that reference. So yeah, it was a Kickstarter deck, of course. That's where I get all my decks, most of them anymore. That are Temu. But I'll show you a couple cards. I've already drawn cards for tonight because as we were talking, you were talking, I was shuffling, and we got some jumpers. So, but I'm going to share a couple of cards with you. This is the back. A little busy, but it's pentacles, chalices, all kinds of other stuff. Now, this just happens to be the 10 of Wands card, which you'll get an idea of what kind of imagery this will be.
Oh, damn, that is cool as fuck. I like that.
It is. This is a very neat deck. I'm surprised I haven't used it before. I've had it for quite a while. It's not a new one. So, but that's just one random card. Let me pull another random card, not part of the draw. The Queen of Wands. Little, is that Shiva or Brahma? I get them all confused. Um, but it definitely triple goddess regardless. Um, and let's see what else we got. The Emperor, just to kind of show you the cards, what they look like. So obviously the name is Myths and Legends, right? So this is a bunch of different myths and legends throughout this deck. So that's kind of where the idea comes from. So Headless Horseman, right? If you didn't figure that out. Pumpkinhead. So week before last, we had Psychotic Week. This past week was supposed to be the reprieve, right? That's kind of the energy moved into more of a reprieve, a good feeling week last week. Now this week we're moving into starting off not very well here with this first card. I have to hold my arm up because my shoulders really screwed up right now, so I apologize for that. But this is a 5 of Swords. And so starting off with a 5 of Swords usually is twofold. This has come up a lot lately too in the last, I'd say probably 5 or 6 reads I've done, even not on the show, but it's the representation of two things coming together that one cannot go overtake the other, right? Stalemate. Things are happening, but there's something stuck and it can't move forward for whatever reason. But the one thing about this that's good is if that's the case, if you are in a stalemate, um, then the only thing that can happen next is forward movement. So the stalemate gives you time to reorganize your stuff, so that you can then move forward. So that's really what the 5 of Swords is representing in this particular card. You can kind of see in the back, you've got, I'm not familiar with this particular myth, but I'm guessing this is a Native American thunder and weather myth, because you're seeing what looks like holding up the wind or the sky. And then you have this other individual walking away with some of these swords, and there's thickness. Nothing's moving forward. It's just having this thing where we don't go in one way or one other, and that's causing us to have to wait. Now, our next card is going to be very interesting because this is the Hierophant, but very, very neat Hierophant.
Oh, that is badass.
Yeah. So the Hierophant generally, I think when we talk about pretty much all of the cards, the Hierophant usually represents a dogmatic type thing, right? It's that retreat into order and stability and steps. I think process steps usually, I think, is probably the easiest way to say it. Like step 1, step 2, step 3, that's where the Hierophant goes. It's also often representative of some type of teaching, of some type of knowledge or wisdom, and the teacher person or the teacher archetype. But it's not just not just teacher. It's the process of all the things that are in that archetype. So major arcana again, but we're building upon this stalemate thing where we're stuck and having to move forward, and now we're adding in this idea that we have to have wisdom or something moving forward for us. And yeah, so that's the Hierophant there. Could mean you're looking to engage in something that has process steps to it that you need to take the steps of. It could mean somebody's coming around you that's going to give you some insight into something that's happening. And then last but not least, our last card, this is kind of hard to see, is the 7 of Chalices or Cups. So this is a really good card, actually. Like, well, I'll not say good card. It's a very nice in the place that it's in. This is kind of a daydreamer. Like I'm believing and dreaming in all of the great things that are happening. I have all these great thoughts and ideas, and I'm having this vision of positive movement and positive success, and things are going the right way. And it's true, but you have to be practical to get to it, and that is also supported by the Hierophant. So your Hierophant is kind of tempering this illusionary success, which is this thing, right? And telling you, say, hey, be practical a little bit. Don't just run off and do things. Take your time, do it right, and it'll work out. So the energy this week is very practical and pragmatic compared to the last couple of reads we've been doing. So it's very much, you know, I don't want to say stable because it's just too cliche, but a pragmatic is the best I can come up with. Do things that have a standard result that build upon something. Don't don't run out in the middle of the forest. And
What's the deck
well, I mean,
called
you
again?
can. This deck is the Myths and Legends. Um, Gorgeous deck. I can hit a few other cards if you want. But this is probably. I have a couple of decks by this same individual. Um, this one is Taylor Holtquist. There's the book that goes with it. Um, and then, sorry, I got too much stuff here. Let me just, um, so anyway, let me do a couple extra cards real quick because I want you guys to see. It's got a really nice black foil. I have 3 decks from this particular artist. There's a random, looks like 6 of Wands. Or no, that's 6. But yeah. Just
I
really
really like
pretty
the
imagery.
matte finish on it.
The who?
The matte finish.
Yeah.
It's not glossy.
We got 8 of Swords there. The Devil.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so some really cool cards, but um very interesting deck. I love the borderless. Everybody like that's a big thing for me. I really like borderless cards. But let me just before we go too far, I want to show you something else. Ma, you went down. Dobby says hello. She really does look like Dobby. Sorry, didn't mean it. So there's this one. This is an older one. This is one of her older decks called Oceana Arcana. Arcana. I don't know how to say it properly. This one I have used a couple of times, but you'll recognize the art style. But obviously, we're talking deep sea, underwater. Queen of Wands. See that?
Yeah, not vibing with that one as much as I was vibing with the other one.
Yeah, well, the other one is Myths and Legends, right? You got a lot more dark stuff to it. This is the imagery is similar idea. And then there's one other one that I really enjoy, which I'm not going to go through unless somebody wants me to, which is the Terra. That's the newest one.
Sure. What do you got going on? I mean, I'm assuming that's Earth, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's really cool about there's another deck I really want to use, but it was just, and I think I have used it on here before, but I'd like to use it again soon. And it's more of an Oracle deck. It was actually created for, what do you call it? It was created for. This is the thing that comes with it. The little tarot call.
Nice.
It was created for Dungeons and Dragons. That's what I was trying to get to. But it's also usable as a tarot deck or a oracle deck. And then the tarot one is again same kind of imagery, but
See, I like that. That's cool.
A little different, yeah. Bear. So, just a really good artist.
Kind of looks like a tarot deck my grandfather would use if my grandfather read tarot.
Yeah. But if you look for her type of stuff, it is Taylor Holtquist, Hultquist. A very, very neat deck. She's got a bunch. These are the ones I liked.
Rock on.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
You forgot the fucking.
The fucking?
Yeah. Merry Christmas and a happy fucking New Year.
Happy fucking New Year.
I can't remember what that's from. I am having visions of New York City, but it's from a movie or something.
Oh no, I'm just picturing Adam Sandler. Put on your yarmulke. It's time to celebrate Hanukkah. Drink your gin and Hanukkah.
You know, before we get into the whole anti-Satan shit that was going on, I do have a question, and I want to ask you, Stick, because I personally, because personally for me, like it doesn't bother me at all. I think because of how I grew up, it's more of an expected thing during this season for me, and I say it without thinking, and I think by me saying that, you know where I'm going. Um, you know, what is your opinion on people that flip shit when you say Merry Christmas?
People that flip shit if I say Merry Christmas, I think are stupid. I don't care what you say to me. It's a greeting. Like at that point, I do kind of agree with the whole. Um, Either one. If you flip shit because of Merry Christmas or if you flip shit because of Happy Holidays, you're both stupid.
Yep, I agree.
I really am happy you took the time out to wish me a good holiday time. Whether I celebrate it or not, you can't guess that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I think it's just
But
kind of like a. Because I'll be honest, like I remember.
there is no war on Christmas.
I remember when they took Santa off of Starbucks cups. I was kind of irritated that they got rid of Santa Claus. I was a little irritated.
I personally don't care. Like I think, like at that point, fine. You know, Santa Claus on some, but I don't think they should. I personally don't think they should specifically do any one specific thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Should be pretty generic. You're a company and you're pandering. That's what they do. They have to. That's how they make money.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let them pander.
I don't know. There was just something about it. Like, I mean, I'm not a huge Starbucks person. I get Starbucks like in October, like for pumpkin spice season. That's like my thing. But you know, there was just something about the cups, you know, with the Santa Claus on them and shit like that. It just kind of felt wholesome, you know. Now, me, if I was a CEO of Starbucks and people start freaking out about Santa Claus, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just start fucking throwing Krampus on all of them.
Why would they call him Sandy Claus?
Right? Just fucking put Krampus on it. It's like, fine. You got a problem with Santa?
Yeah.
You got Santa Claus? Great.
I don't have a problem with people like assuming stuff or like being generic or saying things. I have a problem when people get mad or say that that's the only right one. That's when I get irritated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when it comes to businesses, like even like Target and stuff, like the fact that they have Pride stuff, they don't care about Pride. They want to sell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. That's what businesses do.
Yep.
Like it just doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, it doesn't. I don't really give a shit anymore. But when it first happened, I was like, really? I was like, who gets offended by fucking Santa Claus? You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, like that. That was my.
Is it?
You know, my. I understand. Like, if
the
company took the initiative themselves and said, "Hey, let's be more inclusive in general," but who gets offended by fucking Santa Claus?
But is it that, or is it like I wonder sometimes? Like, is it that they were offended by Santa Claus, or just offended that it's always Santa Claus?
Or what if, like, or what if they did something more inclusive? Just like, you know, they just had a stack of cups, and each one's just like a different culture during the season.
That's what I would do.
You know, I
if
think
I was a
that'd be
company.
cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Not only are you catering to everybody, but you're also educating the public. You know, like to grab a couple of, what is this? You know, oh, I didn't know people celebrated this. Oh, okay, now you can learn something new.
Yeah, I agree with Aaron, and people are too sensitive over nothing. I think it's pretty neat to learn new things about stuff. Like, sorry, my browser is going absolutely haywire. It just went all digital snow. Anyway, everything tech, by the way, is going strange the last couple weeks or so. Like, but anyway, we can talk about that later. But yeah, I don't get the whole offended stuff. I'm also not an easily offended person.
Same.
I don't mind speaking my opinion, but then people take speaking your opinion sometimes as being offended. Like, I'm not offended. I'm just sharing with you that I disagree.
Yeah,
you're not hurting my feelings. You know. People, there's always gonna be something that pisses you off about somebody. But I do wonder though, is it really offense or is it just like, you didn't include me and I'm sad?
I think that's more what it is.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I think it would be cool. Like, you know, they have a Santa Claus cup, a Kwanzaa cup, a, you know, Hanukkah cup, you know, a Yule cup with a big old pentagram on it. You know, that.
Flying Spaghetti Monster cup.
Yeah, exactly. Why the fuck not, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I really don't give a shit. I mean, but I was just curious because it's Christmas time and it's now like a lot of those videos are circulating on social media again.
Like, like I still love and I probably will probably do it tonight. I don't know, but I love going out and seeing Christmas trees and the Christmas lights and all this stuff. I don't believe in Christmas at all, but it's really cool to see it, and I love seeing kids get super excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. You know, when you see a whole bunch of people, well, not so much at the church because I don't know why that irritates me a little bit, but um, yeah, I mean, I think it's fun.
Yeah, I've always thought like I've never been a huge fan of Christmas. I mean, I've always thought it was funny that Christians celebrate Christmas with pagan tradition. That's always been hilarious to me. Um, you know, get the snicker like a school child in the background. But I've always liked the vibe of Christmas. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like everybody kind of getting happy and the season for giving and shit like that.
See, it didn't work for me because in my single digit age years and my preteens and my teens, I extremely withdrew during holidays,
Hmm.
just because of stuff. Um, yeah, so that's just a thing that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so because of that, I never really liked Christmas. I didn't like being with the family that I went with at Christmas time. Was the stuck up pretentious. My mom wasn't good enough. My dad was the black sheep of the family. That was the house we
Uh-huh.
went to for the, oh, you can't sit on that furniture, it's too nice, and the kids taste, and just all that bullshit, and it just left a horrible taste in my mouth. And some of the things that that side of my family has done is just so anti-Christian, and they're like the bigger
Mm-hmm.
Christians of
Yeah.
anybody,
I mean,
and it's
well, I
just
mean,
ruined it
most
for me.
most super Christians are very anti-Christian with the way that they actually act. I mean, I don't know.
Very.
Like my favorite memory of Christmas was a total Roseanne moment in my family. So I started like smoking when I was like 14, something like that. My grandparents caught whiff of that. And this is the type of people my grandparents are. So on Christmas Eve, we would go to all the family members' houses, like to get presents and say hello, and eat some like fruit cake or some shit, whatever, with each family member starting at like 6 o'clock in the morning until like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Grandparents are always the last house. It's like 9 o'clock at night, 9:30. We get to my
Oh,
grandparents' house. I'm 14, and my grandparents hand me my present, and I open it up, and just the quick gasp and then silence because they bought me a carton of cigarettes.
hey, I mean that's a good thing, I think.
Right? So, like, everybody was just like, wait. You do realize he's 14, right? Right. And then, like, my grandmother just looks at my mother and she's like, how the fuck do you think you smoked at 14? Like,
I think that is hilarious.
total Roseanne moment. Total Roseanne moment. For anybody that I'm hoping that most people in the chat have seen or remember the TV show Roseanne, and if you
Oh yeah.
do, then you will know why that was a Roseanne moment. Because morally speaking, you don't buy a 14-year-old a carton of cigarettes, but
Do what you gotta do.
right. um,
But I do love this time of year. I just don't. I don't have any problems with Christmas itself. I don't even have a problem with the Christian Christmas part. I don't mind it.
mm-hmm.
Um, but I do wish there was a little more representation for the non-traditional holidays. Like even for me, I like decorate. I love decorating for Christmas and stuff, but I do not like Santa pictured stuff. I don't uh like religious style stuff. I like
Yeah, the religious shit. No, we can do without it.
it's weird, but I love the candy canes and the garland and the
Mm-hmm.
colored lights, white lights, all kinds of stuff that
Well,
we
I
need
mean,
to.
all of that shit's pagan. I mean, a candy cane is essentially like a
Yeah,
mini maple.
yeah.
Like I mean, that's what that is.
But
you
that's what
know.
I love about it, and it's. I do want to kind of go out now to see the lights after this and do that.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I generally try to do kind of like a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibe for Christmas. So I still have like purple and orange lights and stuff like that. So it's Christmas, but Halloween at the same time.
Yeah, we've got
So,
our Halloween stuff still up, like the a 3 foot black tree with the pink lights and the little harvest houses and stuff.
oh yeah. Hey man, like if you want to like lower down like, the amount of work you have to do, like if you're the type of person that throws like the plastic skeletons out in your front yard and shit for Halloween, Christmas rolls around, just put a fucking Santa hat on them. Boom, you're done.
You have skeletons riding flamingos that Rook still has not put out in the yard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
emu.
go. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Why not? Right? Confuse people, right? Confuse the shit out of them, right? Put a couple Christmassy skeletons and goblins and ghouls on your lawn, and trust me, people will stand out there but look at it for a few minutes. But wait, what?
100% for sure.
Did they not get the memo, or did we not get the memo? Who's missing the memo, sir?
Full moon the day after Christmas, by the way.
Oh, they're rock on. So, all right. Speaking of Christmas, so the main topic for this evening is Christmas related. I don't have our scene finished for display purposes. So there's a scene that I'm making that is going to allow us to have a big window to show an article that we're going to be reading and going through. Did you get a chance to go through that, by the way?
They did.
All right.
I'd actually already read about it. I just didn't realize it.
Okay. By the way, for those of you that didn't notice, so when I have Discord open up on this other screen, for some reason, you can't see the Discord window, but you can see my mouse. And I was picking Mystic's nose, like I am now, with my mouse. I don't know if you guys saw that when he was doing the read. I thought it was funny, but nobody said anything. Anywho.
You'll be all right, I promise.
Yeah. So from
Maybe.
U.S. of A today, right? So there is a former congressional candidate charged with vandalizing satanic temple display at Iowa Capitol. Now, there's a couple of different directions that we can go with this one. Okay, there's a couple different directions that we can go with this. So I think that it's cool that, the Capitol building is allowing people to put up, various different, spiritual or religious displays that represent, their religious beliefs for the holidays. And then other people can kind of come in and, see that, right? Now, personally, I'm not sure what the Satanic Temples display really looked like. Honestly, it looks like a disco ball goat head.
It really does. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
Like, and if you guys are wondering what article we're looking at, so you can see the same thing, there's the article going into the chat. Boom.
And say okay. I'll pop the picture in Discord too.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like a very elaborate display. I think that they kind of went half-assed on it this year. I remember, like, I think it was a couple years ago, like their display, like they had like a baby Baphomet Jesus display, like, which was very elaborate, and I thought that was cool as fuck.
Instead of a nativity scene, they did a nudity scene.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Welcome, Kayla. Welcome. So there's that aspect of it, but apparently, so what bothers me about this the most, right, isn't just the fact that it was vandalized. Like, you kind of expect that to happen. Not to say that it's an excuse for it, or that
if
it's
you're the
okay.
adversary and there's an act of rebellion, then you're gonna get
exactly.
shit.
So you kind of you're kind of expecting something to happen, but it's one, who did it, right? And 2, what he said
That's
after
what pissed
doing
me
it.
off. And then 3, who backed him up?
Exactly.
Who jumped on the bandwagon and said, yes, this is how it should be.
Right. So,
Florida's Death Santis, by the way.
yeah. So, and obviously, like, all of this is like now like on X, right? Like, I love it. Said on X, posted on X. Like, it's
Like, but that's supposed to make you love everybody. Oh wait, different X.
right, exactly. Like, wait a minute, we
Confused.
thinking of the same X? Oh wait, I'm thinking of 3 X's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mathematical skills are lacking when my brain is going that direction. Anywho, moving forward. So apparently, what was this guy's name? Cassidy, right? Yeah, Cassidy, right? So Cassidy something. I don't know what the fuck his first name was.
You're talking about the
guy that actually
the person. Yeah, they didn't use his last name. No, Michael Cassidy was
Michael Cassidy. Yeah, so Michael Cassidy. So this guy was actually going for Congress because ex-congressional candidate. This man was looking for votes to uphold the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
I see a very large problem with this, but anyway. And he was the one that, destroyed it. Let's see. I want to get to his quotes. They have his quotes kind of strung through it. So let's see here.
The first one's the most important one.
Right, yeah. So the former congressional candidate from Mississippi charged with vandalizing the Satanic Temple of Iowa's display depicting a pagan idol Baphomet at the Iowa State Capitol says he saw this blasphemous statue and was outraged. My conscience is held captive to the word of God.
The word of God.
Not to bureaucratic decree. Michael
That
Cassidy.
is literally the problem of all of it. That's literally the actual problem.
Yep.
Oh, this makes me mad.
Told conservative website The Sentinel, and so I acted like he was going to fucking war. Like, seriously. Okay. Cassidy, 35, right? Dude's younger than me, right? By 2 years. Was charged with 4th-degree criminal mischief on Thursday, according to the Iowa Department of Public Safety. Conviction could carry a sentence of 1 year in prison and a $2,560 fine. That's a very specific number, by the way.
I was very...
it's a little overly specific.
Little Illuminati in there.
Exactly. The Satanic Temple of Iowa had...
Wait a minute.
What?
2 plus 5 plus 6 is 13. Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it. All right, so the Satanic Temple of Iowa had announced on Friday its display had been destroyed beyond repair. Again, you don't really get like the full vibe of what the display was with this picture. Like, I feel like there's more to it.
I couldn't tell if this was before or after it was destroyed. I can't tell.
Exactly. Right. So, like, you're kind of looking at it, you're like, wait, that's it? And it's hidden behind a pillar, by the way, right? It's not even like really out in the open. Like, if you just walk past, right, outside of like light being reflected off of this thing that looks like a fucking disco ball head, like, you could probably walk past it and not even see it if that's all of it, right? I mean, the second picture after, was it the first picture before that? It looks like it was maybe a little bit more elaborate, a little bit longer, right? Because it looks like there's like kind of like a table kind of thing where the dude's sitting down, right? Like reading his Bible thing, like with his back turned to it. It looks like there might have been more to it. But yeah, so the pictures are kind of half-assed. So let's see. The installation permitted under state rules allowing religious displays in the building during the holidays has been debated and criticized by Iowa and national politicians. Now, here's the thing. I think everybody should have the right to put whatever the fuck they want in their front yard. I think political buildings should be completely left out of it. If political buildings want to throw up some lights, sure. They want to throw up a Christmas tree? Sure. You want to put a nativity scene? No. Like, that's just my opinion.
I agree. It's one of the things I like about the TST when they or still are fighting, I guess, but we're fighting the original Ten Commandment statue issue. We were just watching that again the other day. Um, and once they said no, we're taking it down because so back up. Ten Commandments going up in I think it was Oklahoma in that one, and
Mm-hmm.
it was again an issue in Kansas, but so they put it's up in the thing, and they're like, okay, well if that's there, then we're putting Baphomet up. And instead of them allowing them to put Baphomet up, they're like, oh hell no, you're not. We're taking the Ten Commandments down. And so they asked the TSDs, like, well, are you still gonna put Baphomet? I was like, no, we don't want to put Baphomet up. We don't want it anywhere near you guys. But you shouldn't have yours either.
Not a
Which is
lie.
exactly how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want pagan stuff at the Capitol or at anywhere in government. I don't want you to have anything to I don't want you to know anything about what I do or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you go back to the argument is in God we trust on our money and God we the Pledge of Allegiance, all things that we know were added late.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then that kind
Exactly.
of gets it stuck.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously this is a conversation that we've had, at length about the separation between church and state thing, you know, um, and just watching how easily people freak out, right? I mean, they don't have a problem with any other religion that was in there because there's multiple people with multiple different displays, multiple different organizations, not just Christians. And the only one that they had a problem with was, obviously the Satanic Temple, right? Because Satan's bad.
Well, that and I think they feel mocked, right? They feel like we're directly mocking them because of their faith, when in reality, Satan was before their faith ever existed, just in a different archetype.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. So presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis on Tuesday joined a chorus of Republicans calling for its removal. Like, the thing, so here's the thing, like, I do not, this show is not a political show, but I need to say this. I came up with this thing last night, right? I'm not red and I'm not blue. I'm fucking purple.
That usually denotes lack of oxygenation to the tissue, so you might want to let that go.
Right? Yeah, well, possibly. I'm purple because the thing is, there are things that I heavily disagree with on the right, like this, and there are things that I heavily disagree with on the left. I'm purple. Okay, I'm purple. There's things that I agree with and things that I agree with on both sides, things that I disagree with on both sides, but I don't feel at home on either side.
Me either.
Right?
But
I just don't.
I don't go purple though. I go swirl. Because like if you lay everything out and you have red here and blue here, then I'm like,
right? Yeah, there you go.
my own beliefs. They're all over the place. And the most important belief in all of those, though, is that everybody has the right to have their own beliefs. And I don't have a problem with that guy that says, I hate the Baphomet statue. It's ugly. It's despicable. It's terrible. But it has a right to be there. That's the difference.
Yeah. Based on the rules and how the rules are set up.
Based on how the rules are now,
yep,
yeah.
It has every right to be there. But so Ron DeSantis joined the chorus of Republicans calling for its removal. Others in the GOP said that though it is offensive, it is a protected form of free speech. Thank you. At least, somebody was fucking, didn't have their head
I need
up their
to
ass.
know the name of those people. Those are the GOP people that I want to know about.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. Now, this actually pissed me off. This next part.
I thought that was funny.
Okay, so this next part actually kind of pissed me off. Dude set up a crowdfunding campaign to pay for his legal fees.
This is so satanic, it's not funny.
Okay.
He manifested that shit.
So the Sentinel said it launched a crowdfunding campaign for Cassidy's legal fund, which quickly raised its target of $20,000. Donors included conservative campaign group Turning Point USA, which gave him $10,000 off the fucking bat. DeSantis said on X, the social media site formerly known as Twitter, I love that. They have
He
to throw that
prints.
in there, right? That he also would contribute. Right? Behemoth, happy holidays. Welcome in. It's
Happy
good to see you.
holidays, sir.
For anyone that doesn't know, the voice that you hear in the background, if you can hear the music, that is Behemoth. Behemoth made this track specifically for us for the show. Behemoth, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
If you're not following him, go fucking follow that man. That man knows what the fuck he's talking about. Very powerful magician. All right, so social media site formerly known as Twitter. Jesus Christ. All right, it said that DeSantis would also contribute. Okay. Also in a post on X, Cassidy thanked people for their support. He said the campaign raised enough money in just a couple hours. That's kind of pisses me off. Like there are people like trying to get money for like medical treatments that never even get seen, and this motherfucker raises 20 grand because he's an idiot. Right? But later on Friday, he returned to X saying he had reopened the fund. I've been notified of more potential legal charges, unfortunately. So I've opened the legal fund donation back up. He wrote promising that all donations in excess of what is directly related to my defense shall be donated to a Christian legal fund, which would probably be supporting him legally anyway.
Show me the receipt.
Donations by 4 p.m. had reached almost $40,000. 40 grand. Motherfucker broke the law, destroyed somebody else's shit, was supposed to be a potential like elected example of, what people want the government to do. And there are people trying to buy him out of legal issues.
Oh, I didn't even read this section. Shit.
Okay. So Sergeant Alex, I want to say Dinkle. Dinkle. We'll just call him Dinkle. Sergeant Alex Dinkla, a spokesman for the Iowa State Patrol, declined to comment on whether Cassidy could face additional charges. The solicitation for donations on Give, Send, Go, the contribution platform, said Cassidy tore down and beheaded a Satanist altar erected in Iowa State Capitol. It said he pushed over and decapitated this satanic statue before he discarded the head in a trash can. Out of the millions of Christians in this nation, Cassidy was the first to act in bravery and conviction, it said. He was not willing to see God reviled, especially in a building where lawmakers are supposed to honor Jesus Christ as king and look to his law for wisdom as they legislate with justice and righteousness. What the fuck, man?
That's the part I just said I didn't read. Like I missed that.
Fuck, man? Are you fucking serious right now? Behemoth, thank you very much for the super chat.
You.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Seriously.
Like, what? Dude. Like, I would like to say my brain hurts, but my whole body hurts reading that.
That I did not read that before, and it's I didn't realize it kept going off.
Bravery and conviction, and that lawmakers are supposed to honor Jesus Christ as king? Like, I wish I had a Bible to burn right now.
And legislate with justice and righteousness. Like, how does that sound? Can you say the burning times?
Right? Exactly.
Like, seriously.
But the fact that these people are not afraid to say this shit.
That's funny.
Like,
talk about delusional.
Honestly, yes, Christianity has always been like the primary religion in the United States, but the United States is not a Christian country. It is not a Christian country, regardless of how many people are Christian. Nowhere has it ever been written that lawmakers need to honor Jesus Christ as king. That's, oh my God. The Sentinel quoted Cassidy in an interview as saying he destroyed the display to awaken Christians to the anti-Christian acts promoted by our government. The article said Cassidy surrendered to police officers after the vandalism. The world may tell Christians to submissively accept the legitimization of Satan, but none of the founders would have considered government sanction of satanic altars inside Capitol buildings as protected by the First Amendment. Yeah, they would. That's how they wrote it. Like, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. First Amendment, man. Anti-Christian values have steadily been mainstreamed more and more in recent decades, and Christians have largely acted like the proverbial frog in the boiling pot of water. Cassidy, in a separate X posting, I love X posting, defended the attack and criticized those who, while saying they found the display offensive, took the position that it was permitted as an exercise of free speech protected by the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. Again, this was somebody that's going to be, was looking to be elected into office. Like we talked about not that long ago, this woman that was actually like, I don't know, like in Congress or in Senate or something like that, and took down, what was those stones? They called it like the American. Now I can't even remember the place in Ireland. Shit.
The Blarney Stones?
Yeah. The American Stonehenge. And like praised like when people actually destroyed it when they blew it up completely.
The Guide Stones, that's what it was.
The Guide Stones, yeah.
The Georgia Guide Stones.
Like actually praised whoever did it. Like an elected official. You know, like praised whoever destroyed them. Like, really?
Well,
like,
I mean, this is just what it is going to be, and it's going to happen over and over again. It's going to be common. It's going to keep happening. People are going to keep saying and doing stuff like this, and it's going to go on both sides, both ways, forever, ad nauseum, into eternity, ad infinitum.
Well,
whatever
the thing
else
the thing that has me worried though with this, with these types of things, is it'd be one thing if it was just a random civilian that did it. And I'm not sitting here saying that, you know, like elected officials aren't humans and they're not, you know, allowed to, you know, have their mistakes and things like that. You know, they're not, you know, they're human and they make mistakes and they do stupid shit and they say stupid shit, you know, just like everybody else does.
Right.
But the fact that there, not only was this a potentially elected official, but then the amount of people that are elected officials that supported him.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious? And I swear to God, this guy's going to get off with a slap on the wrist. Like,
oh, for sure.
He's not going to see the inside of a jail cell, and if he has to pay anything, it'll be like $500 at most. Right? Anyway, so to Christians who defend satanic altars when they speak with their church, family, friends, coworkers, or on X, at X, would you use the same argument if you were speaking with God? Think on that, he wrote.
Probably. I do not like you, sir. And I don't like it where it's cold to send me to the heat.
It's just ridiculous.
It really is.
Contacted by the Des Moines Register on Friday. He said he would answer emailed questions, but later he said he was too busy. It was not clear whether he was still in Iowa. And then the next part seems like kind of like some of his political history, right? Mm-hmm. So Cassidy forced GOP incumbent into runoff in House race. I think we can kind of skip over that, right? Oh, no, this I do want to say. So this is the type of person we're dealing with, right? So let's see here. So, all right. It says, I'm a Christian conservative who loves our nation and is committed to preserving the blessings of liberty bestowed upon us by the founding generation, he said on his campaign website. He ran on a platform that, according to Mississippi Today, included providing newlyweds with a $20,000 wedding gift, paid back if the couple divorces. Like, so that's how he was trying to get votes. So people were getting married. He's like, here, I'll give you 20 grand. But if you guys get a divorce, you got to pay it back.
Sounds Christian, I think.
Well, like, I don't know.
That's always got me, like the things that politicians do with the money, like realize like you do know we pay into that fund, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
taxes are a thing.
So yeah, it just, I don't know, like it makes me sick. It makes me sick. It really does.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the discussions that we have had lately have been about this kind of topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gatekeeping and just everything in general that's happening around all of this stuff. And I don't think people recognize necessarily that it's not a satanic thing. It's not left-hand path. It's not even pagan or Wiccan. It's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as people get voted in that can have this mindset of their way is the right way, it's not going to change. It's going to be a long time before there's any big change.
It's just the problem that I see, like, when I look into this, right? So just like, so going back to the guys that I talked about a couple shows ago, like the last couple of shows that did this live on TikTok, saying that, you know, if you're theistic, you're not Satanist, like Satanism. There are no theistic Satanists, which is bullshit in my opinion. I'm just calling bullshit. But they directly attack the Satanic Temple. They're like, the Satanic Temple isn't Satanism. You know, it's a mockery of Satanism. Yada yada yada, whatever. So here's the problem: we've got external forces within and without the government attacking us as occultists, as you know, having alternative lifestyles and spiritual paths, and then internally, we're cannibalizing ourselves.
Oh, for sure. Don't get me started on that part. That's a whole nother show.
You know, it's like, well, what the fuck do you think is going to happen to us down the line? Like, I mean, I can understand 100% why people want to be solitary practitioners and they don't want to fuck around with people, because it just gets too convoluted. You know,
Yep.
it just does. But at the same time, you know, the problem is, you know, if we don't kind of like put a line on this, right? Like, for example, this situation with this ex-congressional candidate. If we don't, you know, kind of like trying to force the hand and say, no, we want punishment. We don't want a slap on the wrist. We want an example. You know, we want to be protected the way that we're supposed to be protected under the law. So if we don't, you know, force, you know, that hand for that to happen, it's a comment. It's setting a precedent that tells every other, you know, right-wing, you know, redneck crazy person out there that it's okay to fuck with, you know, your local Satanist, you know, division. It's okay to, you know, burn shit, break shit, you know, because the government says it's okay. Because elected officials are saying, yes, do it. Fuck Satan. And also to, I think it was Alexis, you asked about, you know, do Baphomet or Satan or like any of our like entities get involved, like, or interfere with these types of situations. So from a theistic standpoint, I will lay out this explanation. And I'm not going to lie. This is a TikTok that I saw a couple weeks back that I think explained it perfectly, right? So when why would an entity like Satan or Baphomet or Lucifer or Lilith or anything like that ever interfere with anything that we ask for, right? Well, it's the same question to ask that, if ants were to conjure us, right, would we interfere? Well, yeah. I mean, if you go into your kitchen, you see a circle of ants kind of dancing around in a circle, it's going to catch your attention. It's going to catch your attention even more if they're chanting your name, right? You'll be like, wait a minute. Like, what do you want? Right? Like, and, they're going to look at you like we look at these entities. It's like, well, you can't leave because we've got you trapped by these little crystals, And you're like, okay, well, what do you want? Well, what favor do you need? And usually it's going to be something like, well, hey, we want you to kill this ant, right? Or, give us a pile of sugar. And what are you going to do? You're going to be like, sure, why not? Like, I can do that. That's within my ability, right? So it's kind of the same thing, right? The entities that we work with don't interfere unless they're asked to interfere. Because outside of us grabbing their attention, they don't give a shit. They don't watch. It's not like the Christian concept where God is watching everything you do. They're
creepy.
Right? It's like, I'm in the bathroom.
God is watching us.
Right? Exactly.
From a distance.
Yeah, fuck off. Put down the magnifying glass, fucker. I'm wiping my ass. Right? So the idea is interference comes when we request interference. And that interference needs to be requested in a very specific way. Hence ritual. The reason why we perform ritual. Right?
Mm-hmm. And all ritual is followed up with action that we have to do to start that process moving on this mundane world that we are part of.
Exactly. So hopefully that answers your question as to whether or not, interference from an entity would happen because of this. No. Because maybe an entity kind of caught wind of it. It's just like, it's your shit. You deal with it. But we have no way of ever knowing that. Right? So hopefully that answers your question. At least, and that's my perspective of giving you an answer for that question. I do not know why my dog will not stop barking. Like, I don't know if you can hear her in the background.
I think it might hurt a little bit, but not much.
Okay. No, not a problem. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, this, you guys know that this stuff worries me. And it's not because of how often it happens, at least not right now, because it really doesn't happen that often. It's every once in a while, right? You might hear somebody doing something stupid, like the dude that tried to burn down the Satanic Temple in Massachusetts, right? Or blowing up, the Guidestones in Georgia, right?
It makes me want to join all of them if I could afford to do all of them. Just join them all.
Exactly, right? But it's just this one in particular, the Guidestones in this one, these two worry me. The Satanic Temple one looked like, honestly, like with the picture that I saw of the guy that tried to burn down the Satanic Temple, one, he was kind of an idiot because he started a match. He started a fire on the porch, right? Which obviously people kind of inside the building caught wind of what was going on before it actually kind of got into the house. It could have gone out of control and burnt the whole fucking thing down and killed everybody in it. Thankfully, it didn't. But, dude looked like he was a couple tabs in, if you know what I mean, But the ones that worry me are the Guidestones and this. Why? Because you have elected officials praising the action, which is sending a message that this is okay, that their government and the people that they vote for are going to defend them when they break the law. So that's why this worries me specifically.
I agree, 100%.
Because it's these types of situations that send the message to others that it's okay, and then that's when you're going to start seeing more of it. And somebody eventually is going to get hurt, because right now it's destruction of property, it's vandalism. Eventually it's going to go beyond that, like it always does. And somebody's going to get killed for worshiping Satan or being a Satanist. And then you're going to have these same politicians praising it. That's the thing that worries me. That's what scares me. And that's why I thought it was important to talk about this. So, well, y'all got my 2 cents. That I would say you didn't ask for, but I'm assuming by you being here, you're kind of indirectly asking for my 2 cents on this type of shit. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, it's really sad just to kind of think about all of that on top of all of the internal stuff but human's gonna human, and I really just wish I could figure out what is it that people like Cassidy have that makes this so like, what is, to me, what I think is what is missing in his life that he would think that that's okay or go for that. Like, I don't know, like that's there. It's not mental. There's I've never had how do I say this? I don't feel like I've ever gone into something or looked at something or been around a thing that has made me so mad I want to rip it apart in the name of something else. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem, it's not logical, but neither is spirituality and paganism. There's lots of things that aren't logical, but I mean, I just don't get it. But yeah, humans will be humans, and it's just weird. It's like,
I mean, I am proud of the occult and Satanist community for not retaliating. Right, I am proud of that. I'm proud of us not defacing churches or vandalizing churches. I'm sure there's probably a couple of 15-year-old kids that think it's cool to do.
Yeah, but that's not a pagan thing either.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a pagan thing.
Yeah. That's kids. Humans will be humans.
Exactly. But I'm proud of our community not lashing out that way and trying to be the better humans in these situations. But this is also why I think while this case is open, it is important to, set an example that this isn't okay, which is one of the reasons why, I mean, I don't think petitions do a lot. I really don't. But I am going to start a petition specifically for this situation to get as many signatures as possible that but Cassidy, DeSantis too, fuck it. He supported it. That Cassidy get the full extent of what the law permits, which is up to a year in jail and $2,560, which is a very oddly specific amount, but he gets the full extent of the law to set a precedent and an example that this is not going to be okay just because he has the support of, his peers in the GOP. So I will be posting that link in the Discord tomorrow. And on the YouTube page tomorrow to get as many signatures on that as possible, to make sure that he gets the full extent of the law, because it's not okay. We're not going to retaliate. We're not going to be childish the way he was, but the law needs to show us that it's there to not protect Satanism, but protect our congressional rights, our
what
granted
is that
by the Constitution.
When you pick on one, you pick on all.
Mm-hmm.
Which is literally one of our mottos somewhere. Was it many out of one or one out of many? Many out of one. I don't know. E pluribus unum.
So I think
from many one.
We need to use the laws, the law as it exists, and we need to ask for the correct level of justice to be, handed out here. Because I will say one thing: if we do the when we do the I forgot the word already because I'm so pissed off about it. I really am pissed off about it. I want to say survey, but it's not a survey. What does it help me out here, man?
The what?
Fuck? The fucking sign sheet. God damn it, I can't remember the word.
Oh, the
No.
petition?
Petition. Thank you, petition. Dude, ADHD and being pissed off is not a good combination.
That was good.
Right? But the petition, getting the petition signed is a part of it. Getting these things to kind of move in the way that it needs to move. But I will say that if after the petition in all of this, if the courts side with him simply because he's a former politician and has friends in high places,
they're not going to, but he's not going to get the full thing.
That's just, to me, that proves to us that we don't, regardless of what rights we have, we don't actually have those rights because they're not being protected.
We're at a spot where that we're in the middle of that change. So no matter what it is, we have to go through the down spot to get to the up spot, and that's what's sad about it, because it is going to take massive things to occur to create an actual change, just like it usually does. History shows clearly that in order to make significant positive changes, there has to be significant unfortunate sacrifice, and somebody will have to do that, and it's very frustrating.
Definitely.
It's very frustrating because it's not just, to me, when somebody goes into the courthouse that allows, by law, for the holidays, the presentation of different religions, and one of those is targeted. I don't understand how people don't realize that they're targeting all. In this case, in most, I wouldn't say, let me not say most, but in many, what we see, American bastardized Christians use God as the ultimate scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. Well, just like they did back in the day when they were spreading it.
Yep, it's for God. God did it. This is in
thou
God's
shalt not
name.
kill, but hey, God said it was okay to wipe out this entire country of people because they didn't believe in him.
Yep.
We're seeing the same thing. Right? Vandalism is wrong, right? You're breaking the law. Well, God said it was okay for me to tear this thing down because it's offensive to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's not offensive to me, it's offensive to God.
God, yeah. You're using an external locus, you don't have to be responsible for it. And when you're left-hand path, you're that center of intent and will, so
Yes.
you have to be responsible for that decision. And that is why the response is so different. But then, in that same respect, like you said earlier, the more sad thing about all of this is knowing that there's a group right now that hates another group. Both call themselves Satanists, each of them calling each other false and fake. We won't have time for that. No pagan has time for fighting with each other. No Wiccan person has time to be fighting with an eclectic hedge witch, or whatever the case may be. It's just, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane.
It is. And we need to keep cool heads with this, and Mark 5. So this is important. I want to say this out loud because Mark 5, he's an Eastern Christian, Eastern Orthodoxy, but he's still Christian. So as a Christian, I condemn that guy's actions. As Mystic appropriately said, humans will be humans. So Mark 5 is our resident Christian. He's a great guy. This community has always been open to, and always will be open to, all walks of life as long as you're respectful. And Mark 5 has proven time and time again that, he is what we would hope all Christians would aspire to be. So, yeah, he's always welcome in this chat. I know we've lost a couple of members because we were cool with them. But if you're going to hate somebody because of their religion, yeah, we don't want you here anyway. So, anywho, With that being said, I think that's going to be good for tonight. Wow, I can't believe we did the whole show on one topic. Holy shit.
That never happens.
I know, right? That never happens. I mean, I get this is a pretty problematic situation. It needed to be talked about, you know.
It'll come up again too.
It will. It will. Like I said, guys, keep an eye out for the petition. Like, I'm going to put it up in the Discord. I'm going to put it up on the YouTube page in the community section. Guys, keep an eye on the community section in the YouTube because I do post things in there. I threw up a wallpaper for you guys. If you guys want a wallpaper for your computers, that's there. Also, like the announcement for, you know, the Sunday Black Mass that I'm gonna be holding this Sunday. You know, and you guys are my favorite heathens. We love you too, man.
Love it.
You know, so yeah. Thank you all for being here, as always. Okay, it's like you're the reason we keep doing this, and as always, hail thy fucking self. We'll see you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.
Deuces.